Hey there, welcome to day 49 of playing chess every day until I reach 1500 Elo. Currently we're at 1162. After two losses yesterday, one I just blundered early, and then the other one kind of went to the end game. It was a good game. And yeah, let's go ahead and, I don't have a lot of time, so hopefully we can get a quick game. But let's go ahead and jump right in to a 15-minute rapid game against an 1158. Oh, I have doubled audio. Let me fix that. Okay, there we go. And I've also been playing daily games, which I kind of like. Where you can I have a couple of them going at once, and you can just take your time and play them as slow as you want and think about all the moves a lot. I've been kind of enjoying those to really like flesh out every different possible line that I can think of before I play a move, because I always have the inclination to do that, and that's why I run out of time. Okay, so we're gonna drop back here. He's not playing c5 so far, which is the big like kind of deciding. Okay. That is unusual. I never see that happen. What's the point of that? This knight is not going to block any checks. Sometimes you do that if you want to remove it so it can't block a check, and then you can maybe force the king to move, but that's not the case here. So I don't know what the purpose of that was. I think I'll take with the rook here. Interesting. So he just threw both of his bishops away right away. Very unusual playstyle here. I think I'll just develop here. Do I want to get the knight out first? Yeah, probably knight first. And he also just blocked his knight from coming here, so it has to go here. Which normally it's like a little more active to come here, I think. So I don't know what's going on with this guy. Maybe he has an idea though. Just develop normally. If we go here, we're threatening to take this with the rook. I could also go here with the pin, threaten to double his pawns. If I do that, yeah, I kind of like that. He can defend like this. I could double up the attack here. Oh yeah, and I also can add the knight in as an attacker. So let's try that. Just see what he goes for here. Alright, he goes for the knight. If I add this knight, then what does he do? Okay, so I think I will just take there and double the pawns. Here, 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 here. Yeah, let's just take it. Okay, so his king side's a bit weak. I have to decide if I want to castle queen side, since I opened up the rook here. So we don't want to waste that, give that advantage away by castling king side. So I think I could immediately go here and put pressure on this pawn, force him to react to that. And then, oh no, I can't castle because I put the rook here. Yeah, I have to decide if I just want to castle kingside or just keep the king somewhere in the center. Or maybe manually like walk the king over this way. Um, here, here to defend, Then I have a check. Not sure if I get anything from that. But yeah, let's just... Oh wait, actually, when I do this, I'm forking both these pawns, so I should be able to win one. I just have to be careful about this queen over here. This rook can't really move, or I could just take the pawn here. Yeah, he walks to the middle. I think I will snag this pawn. If he goes here, then I move, then he takes this pawn. So maybe let's support that pawn first. And we're still threatening to take this, but then he can just go and protect it. Then I'll probably try to get the center opened up. I think I'll bring my king up maybe. Here, here. Here, here. Castle. Yeah, how I feel about that. Let's just push this pawn. And then that should kind of force him to go and protect this. And then both his rooks are tied to the pawns there for now. He pushes it instead. Not sure that I understand that. If I take here, I can just go get over. Does he just want me to get out of this pin? Get him out of the pin? I mean, he has this other pawn protecting here, so the pin doesn't really do much right now. I think I can just take that. I really don't know what that was for. Okay, then I'll just come here. Or here. He doesn't have any way to trap me, right? I don't think so. Okay, he wants a queen trade, which I think I'll just go for because I'm up a pawn. His king is pretty exposed, so like there could be an advantage to keeping my queen. But I think in this case we're up a pawn. Let's just go ahead and take it. And I think I'll just start moving my king maybe a little bit out to the center. Yeah, let's go here. Maybe get rook behind this, and then push this one. Okay, this rook is free now that he got that pawn safe. Okay, I'm gonna break it open in the center here. Rook's lined up with that. If I go here, it gets locked up. So I think I want to go here. Here, if he push, I can take. Here we're threatening to go there. And then we have two defenders on it. So let's try that. We just want to open up the middle here. That pawn's under attack, but I can just... I think I'll go like this, because then I can... Actually, no, I'll go like this. I want to keep my king more in the center. I could also just do this and take up more space. Could be a good idea as well. And then if he attacks this pawn, then I would slide the rook over, move this rook to here. The simplest thing would just be this, probably. I think I'll just do this for now. so that I don't end up forcing my rook over. Because I want this rook to stay in the middle. Okay, he can double up. I will potentially need to bring my rook over. Let's go ahead and play this. Let's make sure. So he has two defenders in this square. We have two defenders. Let's just play it. This is going to be a weak pawn if he tries to attack it like that or something. Yeah, so he immediately attacks that pawn. I think I'll just drop back to here. Keep it simple. Or I could push the pawn up, which also works. If I push it up and he goes here, and I take, he can take this with check, which I don't like. I think I'll keep it back. I think I'll just drop back. We can double up here. He's gonna have trouble defending this. I think he can go here. Alright, let's double up right away, I think. He goes here, I take. Here, here, here. Could be interesting. I think he can just come over though. Yeah, let's just double up. Because that's a pretty forcing move. Yep. Then let's go here. And now we're threatening this and this. You might need to bring this over here. Then I can try to maybe bring my king more to the center. We've been getting a lot of in-games. Okay, he's not protecting this. Instead, he's threatening to go here. If I take, he goes here, then he wins that pawn. So let's instead bring the king up. Although he can still go here with the fork. So let's just go here. Prevent that. And then I can bring the king up. Okay, that's well defended now. Can I take this now? Because he doesn't have this fork. He can threaten... Oh wait. This pawn is... This pawn is hanging now, actually, since I moved my defenders of it. But if he took it... No, I couldn't take this because I only have two attackers. So I think... what do I do? I don't want him to win this pawn back and then we'll be equal on material. So I think I just drop back to here. Or I could take this, then he takes that. I guess that's fine. Take, take. Okay, let's just do that. Because this pawn's a little more valuable than this one is. And I can go here. I think I should bring my king over though, so that this rook is supported. I could also go here. Try to get the trade, and then have this pawn on the outside. I think I like that. I think I want to bring the king over first, though. It's protected. Can't come here. Okay, doubling up on that. But I could go here. Let's think for a second about the potential moves. So, drop back and protect. That's pretty passive, though. Or I attack his pawns. I can't really do anything there. I could attack this one. But I don't want him to take here and then we trade, because then he ends up with a check and I move the king and then he takes this pawn too. So I don't like that. But I think I will just drop back to defend it for now. And then maybe try to sneak the king back over here. Let's prevent his king from coming in. If I go like that, it makes it a little bit hard for him to come in. Or like that, actually. But then that weakens this pawn a lot. Yeah, I think I need to just bring my king over. If I go here, he can just take this. Go on those two squares. He can come in here on the light squares. Come down to there. Okay, I'm just gonna walk the king over. Try to get to here and try to see if we can trade the rooks. If he takes that, I think I'll just... Well, then I have an isolated pawn, actually, if he takes and then I take back. If I take, his king takes. And this pawn is potentially weak if the rook moves. I think I'll take. Okay, and then if I go here, then we could try to trade the rooks. I also have this check right now. He comes down, check, down, check. Here, or here. Then I don't have any more checks. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go over and protect this and then try to trade. And if he checks, I think just blocking should be okay, or I can go over again. I think blocking is okay. Alright, we get the trade. Now I'm going to immediately go here, I think, to try to cut off his king. If he checks, I'll probably just kind of work my way up the board. Let's go for that. Let's go here to block his pawn. Actually, I don't want to lose this pawn. I go here, and then if I need to come up. Let's just go here first. And then maybe try to trade the rook. We're twice defending this square, so for now he cannot push that pawn. And I can start trying to work this one across the board as well soon. I don't know if I want to take this trade right away, actually. He'll immediately start coming in here on the light squares, and probably will be able to take my pawns out pretty quickly. I think I'll be able to get his pretty quickly too. I think I would win that, but it's hard to tell. You're exactly what going over that square helps him do. I could play check and then try to start working these pawns across the board. I want to just get a slightly better position here, get my pawns a little further, get my king a little bit more active, and then use that to try to trade the rooks off. If I go here, he could take that. Okay, let's just start with blocking this. I think that's always going to be a solid move for now. Prevent him from pushing his pawn at all. Okay, he can push that one. But I think if I go here, take, I can go here to take it if he comes in, but then my pawns get split up. Or I could go here, take, take. But then he can still come in on the light squares and attack this one. I think I actually prefer this. After take, take. No, I think I prefer... Let me see. Take, take. Then they're connected, but he can come in on the light squares versus... I could also just go check first right here. Check, then this. I don't know, I feel like that could be better. I'm really not too sure. Check here, then the pawn will be twice defended. Since the rook is looking over here. Okay. I do want to play this because then we kind of limit his rook a little bit more. We're kind of blocking it off. But I think I want to do this first, and if take, take. Then I can push this one and have this one supported by the rook. Or I could take like that, but with check. You could come here. I think I'll just take like this for now. Because then we're blocking a lot of these squares. He can't really bring the king in. And I can do this and then maybe walk my king over this way. He goes for that check right away. I think I'll just go over because I want to walk my king this way anyway. Can't come down here, he can't come here, can't come here. He could come all the way back. But if he does that, I'll take his pawn right away. And then if he checks, I move, and then we could trade rooks. It just goes back to threatening that pawn. I think I'm just going to push it and keep it supported by the rook. Now we kind of cut him off. And then the rook is going to do all the supporting here, and then I can try to walk the king over. He gets to this square. That might not be the best. I could immediately check him though. And then try to make a run for it with these pawns. Do I move the king first or the pawns first? I always have trouble when it's like, I don't know if I should try to activate the king more first or just push the pawns. Let's activate the king first. If he comes here, I could just go here. We're still double protecting this square. Alright, let's try king first. These two pawns connected on the edge are really strong though, if I can just make sure to play it right. This pawn is not a pass pawn because it has this one in front. This one is a pass pawn, but that's why we're trying to block it with the rook. prevent its pathway from being able to move along. Okay, he goes back there. I think I'll bring the king up. I might just start pushing the pawn right away, actually. Here, over. Check doesn't work. I can run. He tries to chase it. No, I can't quite do that. Let's bring the king up. And now we prevent him from coming into this square. Now I can play this pretty safely. Or maybe this first. Okay, if he goes here, we trade, he gets this nice pass pawn. I don't think we want that. Actually, if we do that, then it's my turn. Then it's his turn, then it's my turn. His turn, my turn, I promote. He promotes. He promotes with check. Yeah, I don't like that. Let's drop back first. Yeah, I can't get too low on time. But I don't think I win if I let him get this pass pawn. Or maybe I can just chase it down with my king. Oh, and I actually missed that he takes that pawn, but I think we're going to just focus on these ones. So let's go up. If I can get my rook here. Okay, he pushes the pawn. I'm going to move my king up to block his king. And then try to push my pawn, and I can sack my rook for his pawn if I need to. But right now I'm just blocking it, so I don't even think I need to like sack it. Okay, let's go. Let's go here. Protect this one. Just keep them both together. Wait, also, wait, he just. I didn't even notice that he left his pawn hanging there. So now he needs to re-protect his pawn. So I could have just taken and then he takes, but he takes with check, so I don't really like that. I think I like this, what I have here. Oh, okay, so he's just gonna give that up. That's fine. Let's go here. Just gotta play quick. Cut his king off. My pawn is a lot closer to promoting than his. Go up. Can't push right now. I'm threatening to promote and take the rook. And he doesn't have any checks. So I think it's looking good now. We only ever had a 1 pawn advantage. But I think that's all we need. So I'm going to sack the rook if he pushes. And now we get a queen. That was a pretty hard endgame, but I liked it. It was a good endgame. Been trying to learn more about endgames here. Alright, we're just going to walk him to the corner. Since he wants to actually play it out. Hit. And checkmate. I guess he wanted to make sure that we knew how to do a queen and king checkmate, but we do, thankfully. Let's check the game review. I got pretty low on time at the end when we were in the endgame, but I think I played pretty well. Yeah, I had 84.6, so pretty solid accuracy. No blunders. He played really well too, like it was really competitive. I never had a big advantage. It was just the 1 pawn and I had to convert it. So that's why I took so much time in the endgame trying to make sure I did it right. 1800 game rating, he had 1450, and I had 2 misses, so I'm always curious what the misses were, because there might have been some nice tactics somewhere that I just didn't see. And I had 1 great move. He had 1 miss and 3 mistakes, and we both had about the same inaccuracies. Let's go through the moves here. Also, we're back to 1170 after that game. Yeah, this was weird, the stuff he was playing early on. Oh, it was inaccurate to do the knight because I should have immediately attacked that pawn, the G7 pawn. And I don't think he had a way to defend that because he needs to free up the rook. So I would have been able to win the pawn, I think. Or no, he could have pushed it, but that's pretty weakening. Then I have checks there that he can't even block, I don't think. No, he can block. Never mind. But yeah, it looks pretty bad for him. Okay, I should have definitely done that. That was inaccurate to pin the knight. Wants this move. Can't say I know what the point of that move is. Yeah, I'm not sure. So here I felt pretty good because we doubled his pawns. I was able to fork those 2 pawns. This was inaccurate. Wanted the rook over here. Maybe it just wants to support a pawn break here. Wait, so this was excellent. I never understood why he played that. But it actually said it was a decent move. That was a mistake of him to trade queens, because now I just have a better position. And I'm up a pawn. That was best to get the king over here to protect that one. It's not as big on this pawn break. It prefers the rook back to the corner and then push over here, I guess. I guess it makes sense to try to get the break and push your pawns, advance your pawns away from where the king is active going into the endgame. But both his rooks are active over on this side, so I don't know. Seemed like it would still be hard to get a pawn across with the rooks there. Okay, it looks like we were playing pretty good moves throughout this sequence. It wanted the rook down here first, which I considered, but I decided to bring the king over. Once he doubled up, it did put a lot more pressure, and it took a lot more moves for me to walk the king over to defend this pawn, so I think that was actually kind of an important moment. I think if I played this, it would have solidified my advantage a little bit better. Yeah. Then he goes here. I can push it. And then I should be able to defend it either way if he tries to attack it. Okay, so that was better. I think that was a big moment where I could have played that better. Because once these two are both looking at this pawn, I was so restricted and my king had to go to the edge of the board while his was getting really active. So this is when I got kind of concerned that he might bring it back. And my advantage was pretty small here, even though it was higher earlier, according to the engine. That was inaccurate to block, it wanted king over. But it also was inaccurate for him to take. Oh, this was great. Okay, cool. That's good to know that. I think like cutting off the king can be really powerful in the endgame. So this, let me see if that made a... If I played something else, what would have happened? If I played this, it immediately goes back to almost a draw on the eval bar because his king can infiltrate, and then trying to defend these pawns is going to be so much harder because he can come in on the light squares and attack them. So that's what I was concerned about, so that's why I came up to here to block him off. That was a mistake. Your best move was to push a passed pawn. Okay. I was worried about pushing the pawns too early and then not being able to cover them fully with my rook and stuff. But I guess here was totally safe. I guess the quicker you can advance them as long as you can keep it protected, the better, the more pressure it puts on them. That was a miss. Let me see, what did it want him to do? I go here. He goes back over. I have to go down. And then he can kind of bring his king in over this way. Oh, this was best to check with that. Yeah, okay, I did feel good about that move, I think. And now here we have a really good advantage. We have plus 3.76. Because of these two connected passed pawns. And his only chance was this pawn, but I was blocking it, and I don't think he had any way to stop that without bringing his king all the way across the board. Which he doesn't have time to do since I'm only a couple squares from promotion. Wanted the rook all the way back. I don't think it makes a big difference. I wanted the rook here to prevent that pawn. And then here, once I was able to get the rook, I think he didn't realize I was just going to sack, and then I had a guaranteed win with this pawn at the end of the board. Although that was actually a miss. I mean, I don't think it really mattered either way, but it preferred that I just push the pawn first. Then he pushes. Then I push again. Oh, it's because I promote with check there. And he can't come down and protect the pawn. Okay, I mean, it didn't really matter because I knew I was going to win from sacking the rook anyway, but that's interesting to see that there's like a better option there. And yeah, that was a good game. More in-game practice. I really like the in-game practice, even though it can be kind of complicated and I end up getting really low on time. I think learning more about in-games is going to really help for going up to, you know, maybe 1200, 1300, 1400, and so on. So yeah, that was a good game. The opponent played well too, and this has been day 49. I'll see you guys on day 50. Thanks for watching.